You want me to tell you what I think our internet speed is? I literally have no idea. Do you want me to do it again?
Yes.
Okay, back to school campaign with Tiffany, 1, 2, 3. My name's Tiffany Silva Herlin. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I have 4 kids, ranging from 14 to about 10 months. And they're all girls, so there's a lot of fun in my house and a lot of emotions and energy. I'm currently married. I was divorced. I had my 2 older with their father, and we have a great working relationship. In fact, we just had a family meeting today talking about school expectations around homework and their schedule and needing to get things done on their Chromebooks that they're now going to be getting, because we have our 12-year-old who's just going into junior high, and she's never had a Chromebook that she's had to do work on, and she's never had homework. So we were trying to set those rules and expectations for her. A little bit about my profession. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've been doing that for over 10 plus years. I mainly have worked with teenagers, from small all the way up to 18. Before I went and got my master's, I worked as a mentor at residential treatment programs for a number of years, and then I've worked again as residential treatment programs as a therapist. Before I worked as a therapist, I actually worked as a staff for many years, getting training before I went to school, and then I've also worked in administration doing marketing and admissions, and also having to take calls from parents in crisis. And now I currently host a number of podcasts through various residential treatment programs, interviewing either therapists or alumni family, discussing various mental health topics. What my understanding is in regards to internet, kids, school, and online learning. I think that's an important topic that we should all be discussing because right now we all need the internet, especially our kids at school. Ever since 2020, we've shifted majorly to online learning. Both my girls are in junior high, and they get their own Chromebook, and they're expected to do work on their Chromebook at home, their homework on everything. Not only to mention, my husband and I sometimes work from home, so we also need access to the internet. And the schools don't really give us any guidelines on where to find internet, or if we have good enough internet to run all the computers, not to even mention like all the other gadgets we have expecting to be used off for the internet. Like we have a sound machine that needs the internet, and so many things. I could go through, like we have Alexas and electric plugs that need it. So many things, and we keep collecting more, and it's draining our internet. And there's been so many times that we get so frustrated because it's not working in our area. I know, like especially during the pandemic, and we were in lockdown, we were all here. We all had to have enough access to tablets, then we needed access to internet. And in fact, in our area, I think we don't really have a lot of opportunities for a lot of providers. We really only have like one provider that we can use. So we have no idea of like, are they good? Do they really give us what they need? I am a social worker, so I don't really, I know that it should be running at a number out and coming back. Like, I'm not very educated on no one's taught me how to do it. My husband's had to kind of learn himself. He's an accountant, but so we're not IT people who know the ins and out of technology and internet. So our whole lives are surrounded on the need of technology and internet. And so my girls, in order to be successful at school, come home with Chromebooks, they need internet access. There are times where it's shut down, it stresses us out because we either need to pay a bill or my daughters need to, do something online. My daughter just took summer school online, and she needed access to it. In fact, she had to use her own computer, and we had to have access to the internet in various places, not even just here at our home, but also while we're out traveling and stuff. And it stressed her out because she couldn't always finish her assignments and finish her courses, and they had to be done in a certain amount of time. But the schools don't give us any guidelines. Summer school doesn't give us guidelines, the other schools don't give us guidelines, but they expect us to have access to internet, which we're not even in a place where everyone gets like internet. You have to A, go seek it out, B, we don't know what we're getting. To tell you a story, I had my daughter who she's working on this history project that's super big. She works on it all year, spends hours on it, and it is huge. She has to submit it by a certain time. She went to go on and it was late at night. It was like 11 o'clock and the deadline was, I don't know, 11:30. And right as she was trying to submit it, it glitched and didn't send because the internet went down. And she was so distraught and stressed. I think she had to go talk to her teacher the next day and be like, look, like, I couldn't finish submitting it because our internet went down. We had some issues. The website wasn't working. I don't even know, was it the internet or the website? Like something wasn't working with technology. There was another thing where she really wanted to apply for this job for this program that she's obsessed with and loves. And because something happened with the internet, it didn't submit her online application and she actually didn't get hired. All her friends got hired for this job. And she actually didn't get hired because it didn't go through and didn't submit, and she had no idea that it didn't actually submit. Even though she's really technologically smart, she knows how to do things on it, it just glitched or the internet went out and we don't know why, but she didn't know about it until she didn't hear from them and all her friends were getting hired and she had to reach out and they said, oh, we never got your application. You want me to tell you what I think our internet speed is? I literally have no idea. I'm sure, like, we've had an app and my husband's shown me, and this makes me feel stupid, and I have a master's degree. I feel like I'm a pretty smart woman. In fact, I know I am, and I have no idea what our internet speed is. I'm sure I could look it up, but, and I couldn't even really tell you what it means. What would my one wish be if there are resources available? I mean, knowledge is power. We know this from countless history. When people don't have access to book knowledge, we were just talking to my girls about this. I'm like, man, back in the days when we wanted to know something, we either had to go to the library or we bought encyclopedias and we had to look it up ourselves. You get to now ask either Alexa or you get to pull out a phone. We're not talking to you, but she always thinks I'm listening. She's always listening and thinks I'm talking to her. Anyways, yeah, like they get to pull up just and ask a question, be like, tell me how many clouds there are and what their names are. And so when we don't have access and information of like, what should our internet speed be? Why should it be that? Do we have access to more than one provider? Things like that. But yet we're required and expected to have internet, especially for my kids' learning, then that just leaves us ignorant and puts money and power into people who may be corrupt and be misusing that power. A lot of times I've had to go on Facebook groups, go on Reddit, try to scour the internet to be like, what's our provider? What's their, like, you know, do we have what we need? Do we need an extra device that gets, what is that, router? Do we need an extra router? And we have one got right there that we ended up buying, like, to make things work better. My husband and I had to scour the internet and teach ourselves, like, what do we need? What are we missing so that we can make sure we have a 3-level home and the basement doesn't always get the best access. And we now have a daughter in the basement who, you know, needs access to it to do some of her schoolwork. So what do we need specifically? If I had an app that I could always stay on top of things to know what internet I have, what speed I have, is it providing me what they actually say they're providing me? And is there an opportunity to find another provider who offers the same speed but for a lower price, where I can either use that or go to my provider and ask, you know, show them like, hey, there's another provider out there that I'd rather go use unless you can match their price. That would be huge to be able to have an app, especially one that doesn't ask for my information, because I feel so overwhelmed with so many apps and websites that I have to get on that ask me for my information. I know they're set, like, people don't educate and talk about this, but they are taking our data. They're selling it to other companies without my consent, which that's a whole nother topic I would love to get into. So having an app that knowing is safe is going to protect my privacy and provide me with information and knowledge and know how to negotiate. It's like insurance, right? Like, insurance can be a foreign language to us, but the more we're educated on it, the more we can get insurance that we should be educated on to help protect our health care, right? So it's like the same thing. except for in regards to the internet, which we all need and we all need to have access to, especially for schools and education. Having the right internet speed, access to internet in general, and also the knowledge to know like there's other providers, there's other opportunities to get faster internet at a lower price. That would be incredibly important to me as a mom and as a therapist as well.